See, I wish I could play music so everybody can hear, because it's an entirely different vibe. I'm listening to Happy Root Slums. We came from the slums, huh, Ma?
The slums? No, I think not.
No, we no. The slums is like is a way of life that borough brats impose on people when they think they're better than everybody else. They say, "Oh, let's just let them go live in the slums."
Oh, the
you
slums.
know,
The
they don't have that. They don't know the right people. They don't do the right things. They don't say the right words.
Oh,
Earth is getting weird, Ma.
it should.
Lucky my whole life you've been teaching me discernment. Listen to my gut. Trust your gut.
Trust you, God.
That's cool. I had the best birthday I ever had this year.
Oh,
It's because I had no expectations. I try not to have expectations. And then here they come in, creeping up. You creepy expectation.
Moving on.
So, I try to participate in their stupid reindeer games. And I see what I do is I go to places that where people are doing things, right? Because I have all these ideas about things that I want to do. I can't do them by myself, so I'm trying to find like-minded people here in Taos. And then I go to a place where they advertise that people that might be like-minded with me are, and then I go there and then I see what it really is. And so today, last week, it was funny, my astrology, one of my placements, my big 3, said, you're going to be in a classroom type environment.
Oh.
And I said, there's nothing that would have, it's not that it's a, anyway, I'm not going to say that. So, this is where I was sitting at 9 o'clock this morning. Well, yeah, I got there at like 10 till, but they didn't even get started until, so this is my classroom type environment that I was in today. And so I went and I sat there. It was 2 hours long.
Oh, that's long.
No, and some dude named, where's the flyer thing? See, that's what planet Earth is instead of supporting the person that is doing the fucking work, the heavy lifting, the stinky shit, the stuff that really keeps America going, they have all these twit brains that hide behind the guides of LLC, a freaking non-profit, all this words. They're just words. They don't do anything but say things. While the people that are doing the back painstaking work, right? And that's what this place was. It was no different. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I try, I give people, it was the farmer and this is how they advertised it. The farmer and rancher financial training. Free. Led by Farmers Outreach Solutions, President and CEO.
Wow.
Came all the way from South Carolina. And he spent time in Egypt. And he's done this and he's done that. Dude was walking around without his shoe was untied. And I was worried at first, and I was like, oh dear, his shoe's untied. And I'm thinking he's a grown man, and then I'm listening to all of his stuff that he's done. Can't even tie his own shoe. It's sad. So, Daryl K. Tinney. Key topics: understanding tax compliance for agribusiness operations. See, and this was in a building that's owned by the city. They all have their own, they all like to play Legos. Like, oh, I have an idea. I'm going to make a fucking pamphlet, and I'm going to invite people from states away to come here. All this, it was a 2-hour commercial for insurance. This guy's like, oh, we can guarantee how much it's going to rain. Oh yeah, or how much your crops are going to use. Oh yeah, are you going to guarantee how much the Taoski Valley is going to relinquish from their crotchety control? Because everybody's all worried about the drought here. Not worried enough to keep making snow. Must not be that big of a deal. They made fake snow all season long. So, by that logic, a drought isn't troublesome, because if a drought was troublesome, why would they fucking waste snow on bullshit? Whee! Whee! So yeah, it was bullshit. I sat there and I was like 5 minutes into it. I'm like, this is a fucking and they passed around the microphone and they said, introduce yourself and tell us, like, you know, a little bit about your stuff. And because I want to start like a little farm, like garden, like vegetables. Like, I don't want to kill animals and shit. I won't mind having chickens, but I don't want to harvest chickens, and I don't want to do all that. No, my emotion. I'm a nervous wreck as it is, so I don't want. I love the critters. They're my friends, and I couldn't send them off to market. I just couldn't do it. You know, after I created. I mean, that's how I ended up in Taos, because I kept 2 dogs that I was just supposed to foster and give up. I couldn't. I kept them. You know, my heart. I just no. It's so too much. So So I sat there for 5 minutes, choosing the right entity structure. That's what I'm tired. That's why America's shit, is because you got very few people that are capable and have skills to do like manual, like to do the work and stuff like that, right? To comprehend from beginning of a process to and just even have the gumption to follow through, because in New Mexico, and it's like this in all states, you know, people have the attention span of gnats. That they're so externally stimulated that they're always seeking external stimulation, and then they don't know how to be quiet. So when they do get quiet, they equate that to being bored. That's not boredom, that's being quiet. When people are quiet is when they connect to source, not when they're freaking going around flying. Dude, we're not supposed to be flying around in the sky. Yet people keep falling out of the sky and they keep flying around in the sky. It just doesn't even make sense to me. And then I'm supposed to be mournful and woeful because of the choices people make, because they were never so woeful over the choices I made in my life. Nobody's ever been woeful over the choices I made. We live in appeal of the ad hominem, the appeal to emotion, you know, appeal to, just make their heart. And you know who's trying to appeal to your emotion? Narcissists, people that don't have emotions. People that are just manipulating people and just trying to get one by them. Like, oh, they're so stupid, they need to be ripped off. That's what they deserve, you know. And there's people out here just trying to help people because out of the goodness of their heart, just to show other people how. Because clearly, based on the condition of America, people don't know how to be generous. So I sat there, and it started at 9, and they didn't even start till like 9:15. The guy started talking, and I was just like, this is just more bullshit. And I even introduced myself. I said, my name is Marge. I'm new to farming, because I haven't done it yet. That's how new I am. I said, I'm here to see if this is actually for the farmer or if it's more for, and then I pointed at the guy speaking at the front. And I looked down the table, and there's a woman down there, and she's like, yeah, right. And I lasted till about 9:30 and I was like, I can't sit here and listen to this anymore. I'd rather go walk around, you know, like I allotted 9 to 11, you know, mom got herself up this morning, and then I brought her something to eat, or I made food. I brought her something to eat. Is Luna outside? Little girl? And I collected my stuff. and I went on my way because it's I got an idea of of the direction in which America, if it's gonna rejuvenate, it's people have to start acting in with certain behaviors. And so I go to places to see if they're acting like it yet, and then I sit there and I'm like, nope. And then so I'm gonna get up, and I'm not gonna be where, like sign up for this fake insurance shit, and because that's insurance a racket, man. I've been talking about this for years. Like, you don't get in accidents, Why do I gotta pay for something that could happen? Like, that don't even make, but because, you gotta pay for the local freaking insurance lady so she can, buy her car, whatever, of her choosing, and pay her overhead for her office. But, it is funny. I got a birthday card today. And thanks, Christy. And, before I got this card in the mail, the only card I got in the mail was from the insurance lady. So I pay like $1,200 a year, or $1,200 a year, so the insurance lady can send me a birthday card. It's just, planet Earth needs to do logical things. Not see, this is what happens when you get toddlers in Jordans, and then they're assured that the position of authority, and they got the same mentality that they had when they were a toddler, but they're in a man body. It's weird, like the things that are allowed. So I called today's talk "The Temperature of a Lie." Yeah, I'm an energetic sensitive, and I don't go out around many people. I used to go to concerts. I used to do all that stuff. I used to want to be just totally immersed in the world, and then the world changed its tune. The more people became egocentric, the less it felt good. And I do everything out of feeling. Like, I couldn't even sit there and listen to that guy talk about blah, 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 because it pained me. I can't fake shit. It's part of my evolution. It's part of my spiritual being within my soul sack, having a human experience. I've had a lot of experiences. Do I keep doing the same? I remember one time before we moved from Omaha, I was sitting in my cubicle, Corp USA, I'm IT, by trade, by whatever, by W-2, and I'm sitting there, and answering calls here and there. It's slow. I support it all, northern North America, because, they would just send their laptops. They'd fucking beat the shit out of it, and then I'd have to clean porn and shit off of it, and then overnight it back to them. Like, so I know how dirty birds people are, and then they never get in trouble. But I don't got to do that no more. I don't got to deal with none of that, man. Me and Mom have been blessed. So I'd sit there and I'd look at like tickets, like, man, I got money in the bank, I own a house, mom's at the house. I got a dog sitter in the house, and if she doesn't want to sit the dogs, then I can take them over to Wagon Tails, and I had the freaking life of accessibility. And then my spirit just started saying, what are you doing? You're getting stuck in the loop. You're getting stuck in what people want to do. You're getting stuck in living the same year over and over and over. And you think that the result at the end of the year, you're going to be a better version of yourself than you were last year? Okay, where am I supposed to be? And that's thus the beginning of the journey of me following my heart and where it's led to me. But I was looking at tickets for Coachella and shit like that, Like, I could do anything I want. And then I started, and then the life shifted and stuff like that. And then in 2020, when people were, basically what I see, what happened in 2020, yeah, you couldn't, like, with all the stupid rules and stuff like that, I'll never forgive people for that. I won't forget that. I'll forgive them, but I'm not going to forget. Oh, these are... Don't be nice to me, because all you need is a fucking order from somebody that you don't know and doesn't give a shit about you to tell me, somebody that you do know that's right in front of you, that you deal with on a weekly basis, tell me what I need to do to be healthy. Look at me. Do I look like I'm a fucking unhealthy? I'm fucking 51 years old, dude. People think I'm fucking 30. If my hair wasn't fucking white, dude, I pass it off for fucking 30. And then my whole life, people have been trying to tell me, no, you need to do this. Why? Because I say so. Shut the fuck up. Can you change a tire? No, shut the fuck up. I probably won't take much guidance from anybody unless they've ever fucking changed a tire. Because otherwise you're just a blah, blah, blah. You're just a fucking mouth. You're a parrot. And all over social media I see fucking parrots. Squawk, squawk, squawk. Listen to the research I've done. Listen to the research I've done. Listen to the books I read. Listen to the frickin'... I watched this YouTube video. Oh, yeah? Did ya? Is that what you did? That's so nice. That's so nice. Because this is when I was on Crete for Operation Iraqi bullshit. When America did the boom booms. I am very open and receptive to people changing my mind. Change my mind. I want people to change my mind. I love recommendations. But if your soul sack can't contain truth, I'm not going to fucking believe you. And I understand the vibrational frequency of a lie. A vibrational frequency of a lie to me is very cold. You know? I'm not so neurotypical. I've been real nice to a lot of people that secretly really don't like me. And so it makes it kind of difficult to figure out if people really like me or not, because I'm such a generous person. I'm a very generous person. I love fucking doing shit to make people happy, and it's so easy to make people happy, and I love doing it, and I'll be loud about it, because maybe they'll get a spark and want to make people happy too, instead of wanting to make themselves happy all the time. So it's a Family Dollar today. Hi, pretty girl. You're the prettiest girl in the world. You're the prettiest bunny. They sell these because it's spring, and these are like $3. They're jumbo chalks, right? So I'll go and I'll buy a couple of these, and then I'll throw them in the bourbon. I'll put them in the bourbon and not put the bourbon in me. And then I see where people are gathered. Then I'll park and I'll get out and I'll go to, you can always tell who like the elder is, kind of thing, right? Right? Go to and you don't ever approach children. You always approach groups of people of all ages. That's weird. And then I bring it to him and I say, "Here, let him make art." You know? And then I leave it and I go on my way. And then later I come back and see what they did. And I tell them, take them with them. Take them with them, or throw them away. Don't just leave, don't leave them around. So there's all kinds of ways to make people happy, but people are so miserable. All they do is spend their days trying to think about all the things that they need to make themselves happy, and then they get that thing, and then yet again they're still unhappy. So they're chasing after this dangling carrot. When happiness is like electricity. I was an agent mechanic. I had to go to tech school 6 months.
Wow.
6 months. That was the second longest tech school next to, I believe the longest, because I asked all these questions. The longest was air traffic control. What's wrong, dude? Are you okay? Did he? Was he just? I don't know. It sounded like he was like hurt, like twisted something. Like did he step in this crevice? Did he get his leg stuck? Oh, I don't think he could have got his leg stuck. Oh, so the temperature of lie. The thing is, though, in order to be able to feel people's intentions, you gotta be fucking calibrated, man. You gotta be calibrated. You gotta calibrate. How do people calibrate? They clear everything out and set to 0.0. And where people are setting to 0.0. I mean, it's insane what America's turned into. But I've been talking about this for 7 years. You can go back and watch several videos. I have said America might not necessarily see these dropping over. I see. This is a total random thing because I had my backpack, right? And I used to have those. I used to take those disposable, like, wedding cameras and shit with me everywhere. This is in Alaska. That's the Lady in the Lake. Go ahead and look that up. That's the 50th parallel 50. Here's a pool in the hotel I stayed in on the island of Crete. It was like a fucking paid vacation. Only thing is, I had to go to work and help drop the boom diddy booms. Stray dogs. Here's the view from my hotel room. So I guess that right there. Like, that's the thing. When I look at a map and I see where these islands are, right? Like, when I look at paper, it doesn't add up to the places I've been. Because not too far from here is Malta. Or on the map, it says it's like, I think it's, I can't remember. I looked it up from Malta to Crete. But it's a stretch. But all of these, it's like, it's Truman Show. Truman Show, and that's the set I got to see. You know, I must got the good blood in me. I know I got there he is. There's a guy. $237,000 a year. $237,000 a year right there. Look. He don't got the nice pretty smile me and Mom got because he's a lawyer. You see, when you talk shit, when you talk trash, and he doesn't have any lips. Ma, you got lips? I got lips? What? He became lipless because he's one of them. Because the choice that and then like, I got all this hair. Like, I gotta shave my head because I'm a hothead. Because my hair is so thick. I gotta keep cool just so I keep the peace, right? Mom, she's got long hair. I just had to trim like this much off just so I could freaking wash it in the sink and stuff. Right? Right? I saw a TikTok the other day that said a man who's losing his hair, there's a strong woman in his life that he's afraid of. I wonder who that could be. He used to say back when I was a drunk that I scared him. I say, you're a grown-ass man. What? I'm not even violent because he beat me up. Because he took advantage of me. He was state wrestler. He didn't win. He just went to state. And then he freaking beat my ass. And this was after basic training. So he was over 18. He was just taught emotional control and discipline, and and then he made me drive the fucking car after he cracked my skull on the ground. And I was just carpet. There was no padding. I was like, I need to stay here for a minute because he just really fucking rang my bell. Like, I was waiting for blood to come out. Like I was scared. It scared me. Like, I'm like, is this how I'm gonna go? By the hand of my own brother? You know? And so, and then he made me drive his Falcon. My dad bought him a '68 Falcon because he had just graduated high school, and for graduation, he got that '68 Falcon. His Canaro Yellow is beautiful, right? And then he made me drive from Redding back, or from Sacramento back up to Redding. And after freaking doing, like, the guy, he's fucking, I mean, he's a fraternity guy, you know, he's a frat brat, he's a skull and bones, he's, you know, we're the sacrifice, and so it don't matter what I say, he don't get no consequence, he did nothing, like, you know, like, he's been setting up the story for years that I'm crazy, you know, I'm one of them, you know, but it's just like, how crazy is it to call your sister the night before she goes off to fight a fucking war, so to speak? I mean, I know better now, but, you know, still, you know, and I was like, hey, Jay, you know what his only concern was? To make sure that I signed that I signed the financial like power of attorney in case I died, that he would get money. That's why he called. That's it. So, like, you know, but I'm crazy for talking about, I mean, but if you could think about the example of the things that I've done, I mean, neglect, like, it's been so hard just taking care of mom by myself. And he's been overseas like 3 times. He's been to South America. Like the effort he's put in, you know, it's bullshit. So he don't believe in karma. You know, he thinks he's the captain of his own ship. He's a Virgo. So did my Virgo sister, who died at 39. So I know a little bit about keeping things in balance. And that's what I try to encourage people to do, you know. And the world is not all love and light, right? The world is not all, and if you look out in New Mexico, there's not a whole lot of light out there freaking every day. Now when every time I see an article for a hit and run death, a stabbing death, a shooting death, and that's any place, that's Gallup, that's any place in New Mexico, it's not, at this point, it's not news. What they need to do is they need to have, like, designated tally numbers. And then it's just, again, just like, oh, somebody didn't value life in New Mexico. That's because that's all it is. That's why that's like civilization is falling apart just because people don't value life. They value comfort. They value luxury. They value sitting on their ass and playing video games, and that's shit. That's okay for, like, you know, an hour here, but how many times do these people go out on the road and there's somebody walking because their car broke down, you know, or they had a flat tire? That used to happen. You know how many people have passed me by in life that could have helped me? That's why I became the helper. Yeah, it's pretty easy, you know, because I was a mechanic and I was in IT. I've done all this fucking grunt work, all this dirty, nasty, like, it's gross touching people's keyboards in corporate America, especially the dudes. Because you know how many times I used to sit next to the freaking bathroom when I worked at G4S. Always hear the toilet, rarely would hear the sink. Always hear the toilet because it's automatic flush. Would rarely hear the sink. Because it's like a fucking weird dude thing. It's this weird masculine dominant control. I'm just gonna spread my seed around. That fucking muskrat dude got it. That cannon guy got. You got people with like all these, like, more people. They're responsible for bringing more people in the life and onto this planet than they ever took care of. That's a fucking imbalance. That's like weird narcissistic shit, you know? And then those are the ones you gotta start asking if their daughters are okay. Because part of narcissism that people don't get is that they love themselves. And I know that I'm just using this example. I'm not saying that anything bad ever happened by the hand of my dad, but I'm just saying that I look so much like my dad. In nature, animals are born looking like the dad just so the dads don't eat them. Happens all the time, man. Life is brutal. All we are here to do is to make it easier for others, to be the custodians of the earth. That if you see an animal, including a human, if it's in trouble, you gotta help it, you know? Not fucking throw it in a corner and throw crap on it and tell it should have made fucking better decisions. What's it do, girl? Because I did every fucking thing I did all the things that society told me I needed to do. I did it all. I used to do the Pledge of Allegiance in junior high. And then what happened was, see, I'd go along with the program for a while. Then I start seeing how it's the program and start seeing how, well, there's no standards here, no integrity here. That's why I only did 6 years in the military, because it was so far beneath my own standards. I couldn't be a part of it. I couldn't be a part of fucking people sitting around all day. I'm like, this is the shit the fucking people have a parade for? And then they put me through the ringer, you know? Like, oh, you aren't within standards. I wonder how many of these people are even still around. I guess my standards are just, I'd rather be at different standards, you know? I'm not going to follow orders that tell me to cause harm to other human beings. That's why I only did 6, because I'm like, this is a joke. And then I got caught up. So, anyway. More and more people are becoming energetically sensitive. You know what the frequency of the temperature of a lie is? It's cold. It don't feel warm. Truth to me, truth is warm. Lies are fucking cold, man. And words, they mean so little at this point. Now we're coming into the next 6 months because it's going to start getting warm. The collective wave of bullshit, you know. But you know what? Me and Mom, we're pretty okay. You know what? Like, we're pretty okay. It was like this in 2008 when people were losing their heads in their hats and stuff like that. They were giving buyouts here and buyouts there. I never took a buyout. There was one period of 3 months that I collected freaking unemployment insurance. Like, you know? And then I look at all the people that they have such good, incredible lives, but they don't really, they're parrots. They just blah, blah, blah. They talk. They never really done nothing. So, I know people, like attracts like. I get that. I get like attracts like. And there is not a lot of people that are like me. There are not a lot of people like me. So I get why it's so difficult to find other people like me. And I go to the places, hey, are we similar? You do this? Okay, I do this. You believe in these things? Okay, I believe in these things. Do we agree? No? Do you like my hat? No, I do not like your hat. Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Be well. Let's agree to disagree and be on our way. But no, America 2025 is like, we disagree. I hate you. All this nasty, stupid shit. And I don't give a crap about people's ethnicity. I don't care about freaking people's... It's never done me any good. And I got the good blood in me and it's never done me any good. So I don't give a shit. I don't care about clubs. I care about smart people with viable solutions being put in positions where they can actually invoke and help change communities all over the place. What? You got to get the stupid cousins to relinquish control. I wonder how you do that. Because I don't have any faith in the system. I never have. I became part of a system so I could help fix and change it. And then what I learned is most people that do that just become part of the system. And then they become complacent and lazy, and then they get stuck in the same cycle of working hard or hardly working. You got big plans this weekend? Having the same fucking conversations year in and year out. Just watching people just get old. It's way more to life than that. frequency of a lie. So I'm figuring it out though, because I can tell who is about community, and I can tell who is like, because they never, it's like, oh, it's always come do what I want to do, and then when it's like, hey, let's try something that I want to do, and they're like, no, it'll take away from what I want to do, and I'm like, oh, okay, you're more the same. I get it. That makes sense. All right, Mom, back to Bob's Burgers, okay?
Okay, back to Bob's Burgers.
Sounds good. So bye, God, for now. Thanks for hanging out.